Maybe next Tuesday is maybe another one for you.
One day school week. I'd like to call this meeting of the Clay County Commission to order. We will begin with our invocation. President Jeff Barnes is here to lead us, so if we would all stand.
Thank you, Jerry. As announced, I'm President Jeff Barnes, local ecclesiastical leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and help lead 11 different congregations here in the Clay County, Liberty area. I'll say an invocation. Our dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the opportunity we have tonight to gather as citizens of this community. We're grateful for the freedoms which we enjoy, for this great country in which we live, and for all of the blessings and freedoms which we enjoy as citizens here. We're grateful for the opportunity to exercise our rights and to enjoy democracy. We're grateful for these commissioners and pray for them as they meet this evening and as they make decisions and counsel together about the needs and affairs of the county, that those decisions that will be made will be in the best interest of the residents here. We are grateful for thee and for thy influence on this county and for the many wonderful residents here. We pray for those residents who may be struggling, who may have needs both temporal and emotional and physical, and pray particularly at this time as we go into this cold spell that those in this area will be watched over and protected, that they will find warmth and food and the things that they need to sustain life. Again, we pray for the commissioners and those participating in these meetings tonight, that wise decisions will be made, and we say these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Nolte? Here. Commissioner Withington?
Here.
Commissioner Lawson?
Here.
Commissioner Wagner?
Here.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
That brings us to approval of this evening's agenda. Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. Move to approve tonight's agenda.
Motion has been made to approve this evening's agenda. Are there any comments or questions? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wagner?
Aye.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Withington?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda are ceremonial matters, of which we have 3 listed this evening. The first one is 2024-13 honorary resolution for Bill Taylor. Commissioner Withington, I believe this is your issue. Would you like to be recognized?
All right. 2024-13. Whereas William Bill Taylor has a dedicated commitment of service to the city of Liberty and Clay County. And whereas Mr. Taylor is someone who serves his community not for recognition, but rather to leave behind a community better than he found it. And whereas Mr. Taylor has extensive resume serving the citizens of Clay County and the city of Liberty. As past chairman of the Clay County Development Disability Resource Board, past member of the Board of Directors for the Clay County Public Water Supply District Number 9, past Board of Trustee member for the Clay County Public Health Center, Clay County Sheriff Academy, Citizens Academy alumni, and supports the Sheriff Department's K-9 golf tournament every summer, Sheriff Department's National Night Out every August, and the Sheriff's Department Annual Trunk or Treat. And whereas Mr. Taylor was a member of the City of Liberty Utility Task Force that led to the city's new water treatment facility, served on the Animal Shelter Task Force, which led to the construction of the city's own animal shelter, has helped with numerous use tax, ballot initiatives, and the city's largest bond measure passed to date. And whereas Mr. Taylor, as a member of the City of Liberty Public Safety Sales Tax Oversight Committee 2020 program to promote Buy Local, Smoke-Free Liberty Committee to promote a healthier city, Volunteer Advisory Board, Storm Drain Stamping Campaign to protect the city's natural resources. And whereas Mr. Taylor was a founding member of the City of Liberty Liberty Arts Foundation, serving on the board of directors, and served as on the Liberty Symphony Board of Directors. And whereas for his service to the City of Liberty, the citizens of Clay County, Mr. Taylor was awarded the 2018 Missouri Municipal Westgate Civic Leadership Award. Now therefore be it resolved that the Clay County Board of Commissioners hereby express its gratitude and sincere appreciation to William Bill Taylor for his extensive service to the citizens of Clay County. That's it. So, Bill, thank you for coming tonight. You know, it's an honor that we can recognize you and your wife, Mitch, for all your guys' service to Clay County. And thank you to Kevin Graham also, who helped me put this together for the city. He gave me the City of Liberty's proclamation that they gave you too. So thank you guys for coming. You know, when I ran for county commissioner, Bill was one of the first phone calls I made. He's somebody that I really respect and somebody who truly loves his community.
Any other commissioners wishing to make comment? I will. I was talking to Bill earlier today, then I didn't see anybody chime in, so if somebody does, please push your button. Two things struck me. The first thing was, oh, there you are. Okay, you moved. First, two things struck me. One was, Bill was not entirely sure why he was going to be here tonight, and it's like to honor you for a lot of the things that you've done. And I thought about that a little bit, and it occurred to me that to people in this community like Bill, service to the community comes as naturally as breathing. So when you look at it that way, I can see why he didn't maybe quite understand why we are so appreciative, because to Bill, public service comes as naturally as breathing. So you don't thank somebody for breathing. I guess what I would like to say is you mean a lot more to this community than you realize. I don't think you understand the place that you occupy on so many different levels in this community. And our appreciation, while it's great to give you a resolution, that doesn't come close to repaying the debt that we owe you for your years of service and dedication. Typically, what Bill said, I'm not sure why I'm supposed to be there, but I'm going to show up. And that's the thing. Bill shows up, and he rolls up his sleeves, and he gets things done. The second thing, which did in fact resonate with me, and I understood very clearly, was he indicated that a lot of the things that he'd done would have been not possible without his wife, who's joining him here tonight. And I appreciate, the thing is, we honor people who do the kind of service that Bill does. I think it's also necessary and fitting that we thank the people who are enabling these men and women to serve the community. And so it's not just the person, it is their family. And all I can say is thank you very much for sharing Bill with us. And now, wait a minute. That sounds like what my wife says, because she said, my wife says, isn't there another meeting you should be going to? Anyway, are there any other commissioners wishing to comment at this time? Seeing none, Bill, I know what a modest fellow you are. If you'd like to come up and say a few words, you are absolutely welcome. It is not compulsory, but the thing is, your modesty always astounds me. So if you would like to speak, certainly we would appreciate hearing whatever it is you decided to share with us.
Thank you, Jerry. That's not my strong suit.
Well, we certainly appreciate that. So that being said, no other comments being prepared. If you'd like to come forward, we would like to present you with the document and maybe take a couple of pictures, and then we will resume with the next honorary resolution. Okay, we'll be moving on to our second ceremonial matter. By the way, before we move on, something that I would like to point out is any citizens wishing to come forward to address the commission, please make sure you push the button so the green light is on the microphone. Identify yourself by speaking directly into the microphone and then proceed with your remarks. So with that, the next item is 2024-14 honorary resolution for Coach Vic Benucci. I hope I said that correctly. And that would be Commissioner Lawson. I'm going to, it's going to be a long night if I don't get over the Porky Pig syndrome. With that, Commissioner, you are recognized. Please take it away.
So this evening, I have the really great honor of presenting this to Vic Benucci. Coach is an outstanding gentleman. He has touched so many young people's lives, and not just the kids that he coached, but the entire community. He's a true gentleman. He's selfless in his hard work with all of these young people, giving him so much of his time. At any rate, I want to read this. It doesn't say everything, but it hits the high points. Whereas Vic Benucci graduated William Jewell in '59 and began his career at Excelsior Springs as an assistant football coach. And whereas Coach Vic was named head football coach in 1961, during his tenure, he had a record-breaking streak of 45 games without a loss and won state football championships in '63 and '68. Whereas Coach Vic also coached baseball. He took the team to 3 Final Four appearances in the '90s. And whereas in '61, Coach Benucci began a wrestling program and won state in '74 and '75. And whereas Vic Benucci has been named to the following Hall of Fames: Missouri High School Coaches Hall of Fame, Greater Kansas City Coaches Hall of Fame, Missouri High School Wrestling Coaches Hall of Fame, National Wrestling Coaches Hall of Fame, and Excelsior Springs Athletic Hall of Fame. And whereas Vic once said, and this really gets me, if we lose a game because we were outplayed, that's okay. But if we lose a game because I did not coach well, that is not acceptable. And whereas Coach Benucci has the great respect and admiration of the community as demonstrated in the naming of a portion of 69 Highway in his honor, and whereas Coach Vic impact on the community and the young people went far beyond the field. A good coach can change the game, but Coach Benucci changed lives. That really says it all. And with great, great, great honor, I give this to the Benuki family and friends that are here this evening. God bless you. Thank you so much for coming. And his grandson is here. Would you like to say something? We'd love to have you speak on him.
Please come forward, make sure that the mic is on. There's a button that you can push. Okay, good, you're on, so just state
you hear
your
me?
name and proceed.
Okay, my name is Mike Ruff, and I'm the grandson of Vic Benuki, and I don't have a whole lot prepared to speak tonight, but I did want to say a few words that Commissioner Lawson and Coach Sam Brown, appreciate you guys arranging this and getting this put together for him. It's such a wonderful honor, and it's a honor for me to be accepting this on his behalf. It was a privilege for me to be able to have him as a coach and a grandfather. So, you know, it's going hard for me not to get choked up a little bit because he's such a wonderful man, and he was a second father to me and taught me so much and so many things that I take in my day-to-day life with me and try and teach my kids. So, again, I just want to say thank you for getting this together. I think it's a wonderful honor for him. Obviously, he can't be here tonight, but we're very thankful as a family to accept this on his behalf. So, thank you.
One last thing I wanted to say. I showed horses with a young man who had played football for Coach. And oftentimes, he was I think more competitive than I am, if that's possible. And one of the things he would say as we were getting ready, he would constantly refer to Coach and say, well, Coach used to say, and then he'd tell me something that he said, you know, to get him all excited and get in there and win the class, you know. So what he has taught people has stayed with them for their whole lives. So anyway, if you'd come forward, we'd like to take
I'll just take it, I want to see if any other,
apologize.
if any other
Yes,
commissioners.
anybody else that wishes to speak?
Is there any other commissioner who wishes to comment at this time? Seeing none. Yes, we'd like to invite the family and friends forward, and Commissioner Lawson will present the certificate. So we'll stand at ease for a moment while we do that.
It's from out that way. Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't put that together. Thank you. Our last item on the ceremonial matters is the acknowledgement of storm-ready designation by the National Weather Service. And I believe the sheriff was wanting that. So, Mr. Sheriff, if you'd like to come forward, or somebody from your staff.
Good evening, Commissioners. Sheriff Will Aiken. I'm actually going to have our emergency manager give the presentation and talk about what Storm Ready is. It's not just a Missouri State Storm Ready effort. It's actually a national effort that we've been recognized for many times, and we just got re-upped, and I'll let her take it from here.
Hello, I'm Annie Pelzel, the Clay County Emergency Management Director. And as he said, tonight I'm here to celebrate the accomplishment of Clay County once again being deemed a storm-ready county. This recognition was given to us by the National Weather Service, and it is a testament to the efforts of our Clay County emergency team, along with our other partners, and it shows our commitment to the safety and well-being of our community. Through our planning efforts, effective communication strategies, and our community outreach, we've not only met but exceed the National Weather Service's storm-ready criteria. So receiving this designation of a storm-ready county means that we are equipped to save lives and property before, after, and during emergencies and disasters. So as we pose with our Storm Ready certification, let it serve as a symbol of our community's resiliency and our promise to continued efforts to add to the safety of our community. So thank you to everyone who contributed to this achievement last year, and I look forward to the continued efforts of my new team, who is all here tonight, as we add to the continued success of Clay County. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments from any members of the commission? Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. I will just say, we talk about the continued development of professionalism in this county. And this is just one more example of that. And I just want to thank all of you for your hard work. It means a lot. It just shows what this sheriff's office is all about. You're welcome. And what our trajectory is. So thank you very much, and all of you, thank you.
Any further comments?
We do actually have a document, and if we'd like to have the commission come down and take a picture.
Okay. We will go forward and do the presentation of a document and photos, and then resume from there. Thank you. That concludes our ceremonial matters on tonight's agenda. The next issue is the section of public comments. Are there any members of the public who would wish to comment on any issues this evening? Seeing none. Next is our consent agenda. Administrator?
The consent agenda allows the commission to act upon items considered to be routine and approved in one motion. These may include items that have been reviewed by the commission in a prior session. There will be no separate discussion unless a commissioner requests that an item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. There are 3 items on tonight's consent agenda. The first item is commission meeting minutes from December 21st. Also Resolution 2024-07, which is approving invoice payments for the county from January 2nd through January 5th in the amount of $807,647.10 for 380 invoices, and Resolution 2024-10, approving the identified 2024 sole source vendor list.
Thank you. Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. Move to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Motion's been made for the approval of tonight's consent agenda. Are there any comments, questions, discussion? Seeing none, you're recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wagner.
Aye.
Commissioner Lawson.
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Withington.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Next on our agenda is the regular item section. First item on our regular agenda is 2024-08. Administrator?
Resolution 2024-08 is approving invoice payments for the Clay County Prosecutor's Office from January 2nd to January 5th. There are 2 invoices totaling $1,488.98.
Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. Move to approve 2024-08.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2024-08. Discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wagner.
Aye.
Commissioner Lawson.
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson.
I recuse myself.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Withington.
Yes.
Motion passes 5 in favor, 1 recusal.
Resolution 2024-11 is approving Clay County Collector's Report and recommendation of tax sale surplus of certain parcels. Collector O'Reilly is here to provide information to the commission.
Thank you, Barbara O'Reilly, Collector. Resolution 2024-11 is the surplus tax from the 2022 tax sale. We recommend that you direct the treasurer to take this to the school fund.
There we go. Sorry about that. Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. Move to approve 2024-11.
Motion's been made for the approval of 2024-11. Any further discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wagner.
Aye.
Commissioner Lawson.
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Withington.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Resolution 2024-12 is approving allocation of ARPA COVID relief funds and the capital project encumbrance request for the purchase of a Durapatcher vehicle for the Highway Department. And Highway Administrator Griffin is here to provide information.
Please proceed.
Terry Griffin, Highway Administrator. This is a request to purchase a Durapatch pothole patch truck. It is manufactured by the Simline Company, and it would be purchased under a Sourcewell cooperative contract. This allows us to fill potholes with one person instead of a 2 to 3 man or a 3 to 4 man crew. And we'll be using funds from the COVID relief category of the ARPA funds. The total cost of the vehicle is $306,015.38, and we can expect delivery by mid to late April. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Are there any questions or comments? Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. Actually, just really more of a clarification for, as the explanation references COVID, and most folks would probably say, well, COVID's over, we think. But I guess just to point out, and you can probably do better than I, Terry, just the importance of making that connection between the spending of ARPA funds and some sort of COVID response.
Sure. Yes. Normally, a patch crew goes out with 3 to 4 people in the cab of a single truck. And obviously, with that many people in an enclosed space, any type of infectious disease is likely to be, or communicable disease is likely to be spread among at least that group and then spread on to the rest of the other co-workers that they are around. And so by using one person in the truck only, it relieves us of that spread of disease, of germs, and it does allow the person to stay inside the cab of the truck at all times. They don't have to get out, so there's also an increased safety factor there too, because no one is out in traffic. It's just a big truck that's sitting there in the road while they repair the pothole from inside the cab.
Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, sir. So is this Durapatch, is this the only truck that there is like this, or is there different trucks out there like this, or have we looked at
There are
others?
others. We found another manufacturer that was also available under a Sourcewell contract, but it was substantially more expensive.
Okay, so this is...
It's about the same, it does the same thing.
Okay, so you did your research and looked at the other trucks
Yes,
that are
sir.
out there available. And then does the price include any training that's required to go with it? It looks pretty complicated maybe inside that operate.
Yes, the price includes delivery and training.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Commissioner Withington. I'm sorry, let me go back and do that again. I've conquered the technology. Commissioner, you are recognized.
The estimate says with no chassis. Do we have a vehicle that this can connect to, or?
Actually, the chassis is listed a couple of lines on the last line of that
Oh, I
quote.
see that, I see that now.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're right, it was confusing.
Yeah.
Further comments or questions? Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. Move to approve 2024-12.
Motion's been made for the approval of 2024-12. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wagner.
Aye.
Commissioner Lawson.
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Withington.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. That concludes the regular agenda items for this evening. Next is under discussion items. We have Mark Committee Board appointments, and that is my issue. I'll just go ahead and take it. In the packets, I want to go ahead and make some explanation for those citizens who might be watching and maybe have the packet in front of them that I'd like to mention is these are lists of different positions that serve on the Mid-America Regional Council. MARC, in fact, is an acronym for that. When you look at the listing that we have, there are a couple of different types. There are some that are specific to an office. There are those that are also have a term attached to them. Related to that, the only term that is actually expired at the end of this year was the one concerning Victor Hurlbert, our auditor. Regardless of how this particular exercise goes, I would recommend to the commission that we, assuming everybody is good with this, that we reappoint Victor Hurlbert to an additional term for that. Because this is the only one that has a term that has expired. I think he would still be serving, but I just want to make the recommendation that we do that so that we have clarification. But then again, that is, of course, at the pleasure of the commission itself. One of the other things that was added, which I appreciate that the administrator did, and that was to put in the meeting times so that if commissioners are considering serving on one of these boards, that they understand the time commitment that is involved in that. Obviously, reference was just made to COVID and the accommodations that had to be made over recent years. And many of these boards do have both in-person and Zoom features to them, but I would urge anybody who served, if they could possibly do it, to make it to the meetings themselves. I think that probably gives us the best possible item. There is one that is specific, and that is to the, excuse me, I got to move my paper clip. That is the Public Safety Communications Board. That one is one that is reserved for the presiding commissioner. The alternate is Commissioner Jay Johnson. I've talked to the commissioner a little bit about this, and I think we agree that Commissioner Johnson has a greater expertise in this area than I do. So I don't want to just start skipping meetings, but it seemed to me that if I stepped back and let Commissioner Johnson attend, that way he could be casting those votes as the alternate. I didn't want anybody to get the impression that I did not regard it as an important commission, but should the commission see fit to retain Commissioner Johnson, which would be my recommendation, that is the way that would work. So having just said, I think we should strive to attend all these meetings. That is one exception that I would like to point out. And then finally, as far as the procedure going forward, what I would like to see, and obviously it is the pleasure of the commission and how they want to proceed, but what I envision is that we talk about this, answer any questions, and that commissioners can request to be on one of these positions. It is not necessary to have it all done tonight. I don't want anybody to feel like they're under pressure. My impression is anybody on a board or commission right now would serve until replaced, with the exception of possible term expiration. So, and then those names and those parts of interest, those positions of interest, could come back in draft form before the commission in the next meeting or two, and then we could discuss it and move forward on it. I would encourage that if two commissioners are interested in the same position, that they might sit down and discuss it and come to some kind of an agreement on how to go forward, so that when we do bring this up, that it is fairly well settled. With that, I'll go ahead and open it up for discussion. Commissioner Withington, I believe you are seeking recognition.
We still have Mike Driscoll listed as the Active Transportation Programming Committee. He's retired, so that's another seat that we have. You said that Victor was the only one. Is he going to fulfill this term, or?
Victor's,
No, so we're talking about Mike, not Victor. So we have an open seat there, or is Mike still going to finish out this?
let me see, I'm sorry, you're on active transportation?
Yeah, he's listed as the alternate.
Yes, he is, but there is no expiration date listed for that office.
So even though he's retired, we're still having him do that?
No, these are all, with some exceptions, that would be up for grabs, because I think that would be, thank you for asking that question, because that's a point I didn't cover, and that is, there are some people who are either, would not care to continue serving in that particular capacity, or while Mr. Driscoll could continue serving if he so chose and the commission selected him to do so, I think we are better off having active members of staff or elected officials in those positions, but we are free to put people in who are not. An example of that would be the Head Start Advisory Committee. The North Kansas City School District and the other school districts put forth a recommendation that Dr. Lawson.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So I'm on the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee.
Right.
And I don't even own a bicycle, and I really had no interest in being on that committee. So I would be willing to give up my seat there and be the alternate on the Active Transportation Committee. That's the one that I requested.
Now, am I right, Administrator, that you're keeping notes on all this, so I don't need to?
Yeah, so
Because I trust your notes better than mine.
Yeah, so I'd be willing to give up my seat on the Bicycle Advisory Board and replace Mike if that's what the commission wanted. Because that's the one that I originally had asked you to be a part of.
Okay. Do you have any further comments? Okay, Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. So just so the commission knows, and if they want to make a change, they can, so I serve on the Missouri Surface Transportation Committee, STP as it's more commonly referred to. My teaching schedule is such where I am not going to be able to make the next 3 meetings, and I don't even know what's going to happen in the fall. So in that respect, and I know Commissioner Withington stepped in yesterday, or Tuesday, this past Tuesday. So I just want to throw that out there just to suggest I'm happy to stay in this position, but also throwing out there that I am going to miss the next 3 meetings, which could suggest a switch, or if someone else wants to come in and take that position. But there's a lot, as my commissioner colleague will attest to, there's some decisions that are coming up in that committee over the next 3 months. Someone from this commission needs to be there, but it will not be me.
I'll be able to back you up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner, do you want your mic on?
I turn.
There you go.
So I can back you up. I wasn't getting any of those invites until this last meeting. So,
Right. And there's been some, yeah.
Yeah, so if I get those invites, I'll back you up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah,
Just wanted to make sure.
yeah,
everyone was aware
I
of
just
that.
wasn't ever getting any of them.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's cool. Thank you.
That raises 2 points. One is that if, for instance, if the two of you decide to that it would be a good idea, and obviously if the commission is in favor of that, certainly the possibility of you becoming alternate and you becoming the person there.
Well, I might not be able to do it every Tuesday,
Right.
but I can definitely back you up for the
next 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can kind of bat that back and forth and make sure that that's something that, and by the way, that does not, I don't want to make the impression that precludes another commissioner who might be interested from coming forward.
Yeah, if anybody else is interested, I'm not.
Yeah.
But that also underscores the fact that Commissioner Wagner is not able to attend, but Commissioner Withington is, underscores the importance that as alternates, we should still be keeping up on the meetings, because Commissioner Withington's ability to step in there is enhanced in that way. Administrator.
So I just wanted to add for clarification. So we will be reminding Mark that we are asking that not only our designee, but our alternates also get those emails about meetings and agendas, which I don't think is happening. I don't get very many of them all, but certainly STP I have been getting, and I'll be happy to share those with the alternates and the representatives. But we're going to try and encourage Mark to send to both designees.
Yeah, because I was only getting the bicycle and pedestrian, which I'm the primary on, so I wasn't getting anything for STP.
I think that's a good point. I mean, I don't mean to lodge any criticism, unwarranted criticism, but yeah, that subject has come up before, and we hope that all commissioners who are either alternates or primaries are getting notification. That is absolutely important, because an alternate could, in fact, do a Zoom in if that was available, and then at least be able to keep up on the subject matter, as Commissioner Wagner pointed out, or yeah, I think it was you pointed out that there were some decisions that were coming up that needed to have some background. Commissioner Lawson.
Yeah, I'm great with my appearance on the Destination Safe Committee, but I'd like to be removed from the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Board. I have no knowledge of that.
They don't have horses on that,
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Good amended to be a horse trail thing. Haven't heard anything yet from this side of the dais. Any commissioners here wishing to comment? And like I say, it doesn't have to be settled this evening. If commissioners would like some time to consider or research, certainly that can be accommodated. Yes, Administrator.
So I'm not hearing a big volunteer for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee by anyone. So if no commissioners are interested in it, would you like for us to bring forward a staff person to represent the county on that committee and keep us informed of what's
Do
going on?
we have consensus from the commission that staff would fill those positions that were not filled by a commissioner? I see head nods all the way around, so I believe, yes, and that would be appreciated, because it's, sometimes commissions, or sometimes some of these boards are a bit dormant, and then a subject comes up that is more important than we anticipated, and having someone there is, I think, a very helpful thing. With that, is there an appetite from the commission to go forward with Victor Hurlbert in his position on the board, the MARC Board of Directors? Again, I'm just looking for something that we can kind of keep the ball rolling a little bit.
Do we know if he wants to do it? Because I know he had sent out that email that one time saying if a commissioner wanted to do it.
Right.
So I would like to hear from him to see if this is something he wants to keep doing.
No, that's a good point. Mr. Auditor, if you'd like to weigh in on that.
Yeah, Victor Hurlbert, Clay County Auditor. Yeah, Commissioner, I think I'm willing to do it. I have planned to do. So, I mean, if there's another commissioner who would like to, this is something they really want to do, I think I'm willing to, offer that. I think one reason I'm interested in continuing is with the 911 Public Safety Board, there is another seat that wasn't mentioned. That's for the MARC Board. So it's not for Clay County, it's for the MARC Board. I was actually named to that because of the work on the Prop A issue. So, I mean, I just started on that. We've had one meeting. They do quarterly meetings. So working with Commissioner Johnson, Sheriff Aiken on that, I've learned a ton. Been really interested in that and the role Mark has in that. But other than that, I mean, look, I know if commissioners want to get more involved, I got plenty of things to do. So, I mean, I'm happy to offer that. But I will continue doing it if we. Okay.
If there are any commissioners interested, certainly, and once again, it doesn't have to be right at this very moment if you'd like to consider, but I will say that I serve on that board with Auditor Hurlbert, and he is an excellent representative, in my opinion, of this county, and I'm very proud to have him there. Of course, he would, as he indicated, be willing to step aside if there was a commissioner who would prefer to do that. But once again, that's so do we want to wait on that and maybe not act on that next week and just wait and see if another commissioner is interested? Or, like I said, that.
I think he's outstanding.
Yes.
If he wants.
Hold on a second. I'll go ahead and recognize you if you want to.
I apologize, yeah.
Commissioner Lawson.
No, I'm just saying, if he's willing to do it and you've been impressed with what he has done, this is just me. I'd say I'm not going to take it, so I'm happy to have him take it unless one of the other commissioners is interested. But, he's always does an outstanding job on whatever he does.
Something else that, just to add to the mix a little bit is, prior to the board meetings, there is a budgetary meeting. And I have to tell you, not Commissioner, excuse me, I didn't mean to demote you. The auditor is extremely valuable on that because of his knowledge of budgets and his ability to understand so readily what is going on. I'm kind of thinking that we might not be looking for something to be done for next week on that one. While I would be enthusiastic about it, I think it might be better to let the commission kind of mull it over a little bit. I think going forward, any commissioner who is interested in one of these posts, or conversely, who would like to not serve on one of these posts, Administrator, is it okay to have you be kind of the clearinghouse for this?
That's fine.
Yep,
If they're
somebody's-
interested. Yeah, if any commissioner is interested in any of these committees, just let me know, and I'll share that with you and move forward. Otherwise, what I'm hearing tonight is to renew Auditor Holbrook for the MARC Board of Directors, to move Commissioner Withington to the Active Transportation Program Committee as the alternate, bring forth staff names for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory, and then all other positions would stay the same. So we'll bring that on January 25th, and that leaves time for the commission. If you are interested in one of these positions, then just let me know, and we'll bring that forward to the commission. But if I don't hear anything, I'll bring forward what you've discussed this evening.
If there's a commissioner who does desire some further time, please communicate that either to myself or to the administrator, and we'll try to accommodate whatever is on that. The last point that I guess I would make is that if you have any questions about some of these boards and commissions, if you go to the MARC website under committees, it will have all of them listed. It'll have at least some information there. And it'll also, generally speaking, it's a bit spotty in a way, but generally speaking, there'll be a roster of members there. And so if you wanted to research it a little bit, certainly feel free to do that. But go ahead and take a look at that and see what you might be interested in, where your interests and your talents take you, and then we will act on that, if not next week, then at the soonest possible moment. Before we conclude the discussion, is there anything else anyone would like to say? All right. That being said, that concludes our discussion items. Next on the agenda are reports, and we have one report. Administrator?
Correct. There's one report in your packet. That is the auditor's monthly report for December 2023.
Thank you. The next is the administrator comments.
Yes, Commissioners, thank you. I just have really one item for the commission to circle back on. At one point, we talked about schedule of meetings for 2024. There are some months that have 5 Thursdays. There was a lot of discussion by the commission. There was no decision made, and I think the direction staff was received was, let's take it a month at a time, bring it forward at that time, and let the commission decide if you wanted to meet all 5 Thursdays in the month coming up. Well, February is one of those months in 2024 where there are 5 Thursdays. And so we bring that forward to the commission for you to confirm to us what is your meeting schedule for February, what you would like to do.
Okay. Commissioner Lawson.
Okay. You're all going to hate me, but I don't care. I've been there before. Here's the way I feel about this thing. We have 52 meetings a year, in the year. 2 of those already are knocked down because of holidays. So that gives us 50 meetings. We usually work about 4 hours, right? Somewhere around there. So we're putting in 200 hours a year. A year is all we're doing. That gives us, if you look at our salary, we're making $188 an hour to do this job. Now, I know, and you're all going to say, hey, we do a hell of a lot more than that, and we do. We go to all these chamber meetings, we go to ribbon cuttings, we go to all kinds of conferences. We're out there, we're busy, and I appreciate that. But really, truly, we've got 200 hours a year to work. If you think about Joe Blow out there on the line at Ford or someplace like that, he'd kill to only work 200 hours a year, But we're have that luxury, and I think we've got 2 holidays out of there. I cannot see why we'd shortchange the people that put us in this job and not be at every possible meeting we can be at. Now, that's just my opinion. Y'all can weigh in on that, but, and we've got, I think really there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 months that have more than 4 in it. So we're not asking for, I'm not asking for that much, but I really strongly feel that we should be here every damn Thursday unless it's a holiday.
Before we go forward, I just want to confirm what my impression is, and I want confirmation from from council, and that is because we're talking about not substantive issues, but we're talking about scheduling. This is not a notice subject. However, in my opinion, we are compliant with Sunshine Law to discuss scheduling. Is my interpretation valid?
We're talking about scheduling issues that's appropriate.
Yeah, because I bring that up all the time, and I want to stay within the parameters. My judgment is we are within those parameters, but I wanted confirmation. With that, Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. And I love Commissioner Lawson, and I do not hate her, and I don't hate her for what she suggested tonight. And I'm just going to be upfront, but I don't agree with it. And so, and I'll give you 2 reasons why. I'd have a third, but she already covered that first one. Although I would suggest that no one out there wants to necessarily go through an election, because it's a heck of a lot more hours than just showing up to do a meeting here. But the 2 I will mention is, 1, it is not about us, it is about staff. I believe that they should get a Thursday off once in a while. Don't know what good TV there is on Thursday night, so I can't tell you what your alternative is. But it does seem to me that every once in a while, if we are going to be a great place to work, sometimes it's okay to give everyone a break. And I don't mind that. Thirdly, though, I just have to look at this. There is nothing on this that couldn't have been done next week or last week if there had been the required notice. Or if everyone knew a few weeks ahead of time, just get this ready before this week. And I would suggest that there are, except for budget, a number of things that can be moved around to accommodate a Thursday off once in a while. So my suggestion is, as was the practice, I think last year and prior, if there's 5 Thursdays, take the last one off. And who doesn't want to celebrate leap year, right? Although I'm not quite sure what one does in that. If you have an idea, let me know. But anyway, for me, those are 2 good reasons to go ahead and say, every once in a while, give everyone a break. Thank you.
Commissioner Withington.
So I really don't care. Whatever the commission wants, I'll be here. But I am giving you guys a 9-month notice that I will not be here Thursday, October 31st. My kids will kill me. So that's the 5th Thursday, so I will not be at that meeting. But so you guys got 9 months notice on that, but I'm fine with whatever this commission decides. I think it'd be nice to give staff a Thursday off, but if you guys want to meet, I'm gonna be here with my shorts.
Well, some days it does feel more like Halloween around here, so it might not really be like taking that day off. Before I go back to Commissioner Lawson, who's seeking recognition, I want to express my agreement with one of the points that Commissioner Wagner was making, and that is so that staff has maybe a bye week. That has been the practice in the past off and on, but that was also when we were having day meetings. We have evening meetings, and I think we all recognize and we are grateful to staff for the sacrifices they make to be here in the evenings. And I tend to think more, since we are in evening meetings, that we should make this accommodation to staff. But once again, as Commissioner Withington said, I do agree with his remark, and that is that I am certainly willing to go along with whatever the will of the commission is. I think it's a group decision, and certainly it's not a hill I'm prepared to die on. Commissioner Lawson?
Well, the staff, I think all of the staff knows how much I care about them. And yeah, that's great that they can have a day off now and again. But I look out here at some of the staff. We had nothing to do with like marketing tonight, but our marketing person is here. We had really nothing more or less that touched on Donna's job, but she's here. So the staff doesn't have to be here at every meeting unless, like road came up tonight, so I can see why both of our road staff people are here, because they had to answer questions about the machinery or whatever. Great, okay, they were here. Kip didn't need to be here. We don't have to have the whole damn staff out here at every meeting. If a question comes up, they can answer it later. I think that the ones that are relevant to the agenda, they show up, otherwise they don't show up. I know the clerk will kill me because she's here every time, and as her deputy is. But I'm just telling you guys, I think we're shortchanging people that put us here. We all talked big time out there on the campaign trail, about we were going to be so careful with the money. We were going to work hard. We were going to support law enforcement, roads and bridges, all this stuff we were going to do. Well, then we had better have our butts here every damn Thursday night, as far as I'm concerned, and do the job that people ask us to do. And if the staff is here, God bless them, that's one night a week, no different than us being here one night a week. It amazes me, these few hours that we put in, that we're not willing to work every darn Thursday. So that's just my opinion.
Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I just want to comment on the necessity of staff being here on Thursday nights. When I was on that side as a department head, I was at every meeting, council meetings where I was for the city, and I didn't miss one. And when I had to miss one, I'd watch it online. I think it's important for us to understand the impact that we have and how important it is for staff to want to know what we do, what we think, what our direction is, and even the interest in the bickering that goes on up here sometimes as well, the entertainment. But sometimes as a with city manager in my case, but as a county administrator, sometimes you want your department heads here, regardless if they're on the docket or not, where they're going to speak or not, just because you want them to be in the know of what's going on, because everybody works together as a team. So I think I think we need to be conscious of the fact that when we speak and we meet, it's a big deal. It's important, more than we think sometimes. And we have to realize that. And a lot of people, a lot of staff are going to show up anyway because they feel responsible and they want to know what's going on, which I think is good and very responsible. So with that said, if we're not here, then they can relax. And I agree with Commissioner Withington and Commissioner Wagner when giving them a day off is okay. But at the same time, to me, it's sometimes we cut up in process over mission. And our mission is to get things done. The process is we meet every Thursday. The mission is to get things done. If we can get it done without meeting on one Thursday, great, let's get it done. And take a Thursday off and let staff have a Thursday off. If we have to have that Thursday to get things done, because things need to get done, well then let's meet. That's kind of how I feel about it. But if we can get the job done and give staff the night off, I'm all for that. If we need to meet because it's important, well then let's meet. But I don't want to get too caught up in process over mission. I think, we need to get a job done, period, and that's kind of how I feel.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Thank you. So I, like Commissioner Withington, don't really have an opinion on this. In my 3 years now, I'm happy to say I've missed a couple special meetings. I've never missed a single official regular commission meeting. I'm gonna hope to keep that streak going. So if we do it every week, I'll do my darndest to be here every week and keep that going. And this is respectfully to both sides. Whether the Clay County Commission meets 48 times or 50 times per year is of no great consequence in either direction. So I'm inclined, since Commissioner Lawson seems to have the most passion on the subject, just to defer to her on the matter. But I would just as soon flip a coin, whatever y'all want to do. I think it's going to be all good either way. Thanks.
Okay. I think what I'd like to do is, because clearly it was brought up and there has to be a decision made one way or the other. Am I correct, Administrator, that you would like basically, maybe not at this absolute moment, but you would like the guidance on 2 points? That would be, do we care to go to 4 instead of 5 meetings in February as a group? And if we do, what meeting would we take a pass on? Is that what you're kind of looking for?
Correct. If you're doing 5, fine. If you're doing 4, we'd like to know which 4 those are so that we can schedule items for the agenda appropriately.
Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. Well, again, I will throw out there, as was the previous practice, as I understand it, it was the last one that we knocked off. I would make that suggestion, and come 3 years from now, if I lose an election because I wanted to give folks a day off, I will accept that. But that is my suggestion for this group. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Lawson.
I can't believe the apathy. It's not a matter of giving the staff a day off, or it's the matter that you were elected to do something. You said you were going to be here. What the hell? Why aren't we here every Thursday doing business? Yeah, we could probably meet 2 times a month and get everything done. That's probably the truth. But that isn't what we promised, and that isn't the way this is set up. And, I see I'm fighting a losing battle, but I want to say I'm unbelievably disappointed in the way that people view their responsibility with this job. So however y'all want to do it, do it. Go with God. I'll just do what I have to do.
Commissioner Johnson.
I just want to remind everybody that when we started this a year ago, we had business meetings twice a month. So we only voted on things twice a month. We changed that to 4 times a month. So we've doubled basically the workload, if you will, this year to get things done. But at the same time, when I was a boss and I had people sitting at their desk at 4:45 and they get off at 5 o'clock and they had nothing to do, I didn't make them sit there for 15 minutes until their time. It's like, if you have nothing to do, go home. Don't waste your time or mine. Go home. And it's kind of the same thing. If we don't have anything that we have to get done on that 5th Thursday, fine. If we have stuff we got to get done, let's get it done. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. If there's stuff to get done, yeah, let's get it done. But just to show up to sit here doesn't mean really a whole lot to me. And I get Commissioner Lawson's point when it comes to, we don't want to be, the apathy point of, hey, we're just here to collect a paycheck kind of thing and kind of skirt our responsibilities. That's the last thing I want to do, is skirt any responsibility. I don't think anybody up here wants to do that. If it's going to slow down progress or cause a problem for our staff or our governance by any way, I don't want to do it. But if it's not, then I'm fine with it. So I guess I'm a little bit ambivalent to it, but I'm not overly concerned that it's going to create an issue for us if we met 4 times. Because again, we've doubled the amount of meetings where we get business done this year.
Commissioner Withington.
Yeah, no, I agree with what Jay just said. I'm fine with, and it's not because I have apathy or anything like that, Joanne. I'm up for reelection this year too, so.
It has nothing to do with election.
So,
That's what you said you would do.
I said I would do my job, and I have done my job, just, so. And I think everybody up here has done their job, Joanne. So, so I'm fine with, having the fifth week off. But if we have something come up and we need to, we'll meet. That's no big deal.
I think Commissioner makes a great point, and that is, it does occasionally happen to where business comes up, and we have, historically, we have put together special meetings in those unusual circumstances. So I think I'm glad, although it goes without saying, I'm glad that you said it, and that is, if it turns out that for some circumstance unforeseen, a fifth meeting in February is advisable, we can certainly set aside whatever decision we make in favor of that. Commissioner Thompson.
Thank you. I've been sitting quietly over here, and I will say, since I have been a commissioner, and even before I was a commissioner, and I sat over here, I have seen lots of schedules, a lot of commission times, special meetings. We went down to 2 meetings a month. We've done 4 meetings a month. We've done 5 meetings a month. We've done special meetings. We do budget meetings. We have bonus meetings, the top bonus meetings, and the same month and the same week. I think the point is to get our job done here. And that's what we're doing for our community. I feel that that is what we're doing, and that's what we're going to continue to do. I feel very comfortable saying that I would take the recommendation of staff and our county administrator with the proposed schedule that they've put forth for this year. And I think we're going to get all the work we need done. So that is, hopefully that's very clear. And so that's where I'm going to just leave it alone right there. So.
The recommendation that seems to be before us was the one by Commissioner Wagner, and that is that we, in February, meet 4 times, and making the 4th Thursday a non-meeting Thursday. Did I say 4th? I'm sorry, I meant 5th. Thank you for the correction. Obviously, a little mathematically challenged there. With that, I'd like to go around and just get some head nods on the consensus, yes or no. I see one yes, I assume one no, yes, yes, yes. The consensus seems to be that we then go to 4 meetings in February, the 5th Thursday being off. By the way, going forward, when we consider these things, and I know you will because you've historically done it, Administrator, and that is, let us know if there is some event that would be impactful. For instance, spring break for a lot of our employees, that sort of a thing. So as this circumstance comes forward, I appreciate how in the past you've let us know when there is some sort of an issue that we need to take into account.
And we'll continue to do that as those months come forward and present ahead of time, especially tied to school, school starts, school vacations, school spring breaks, not only for staff, but for commissioners and the public who want to take advantage of those school breaks. The only other item that I have is administrative offices will be closed on Monday in observance of Martin Luther King Day. And the commission's next meeting is next Thursday, the 18th, at 6 p.m. here in the chambers.
Thank you. With that, that concludes the administrator comments, commissioner comments. Commissioner Thompson, we'll start with you this evening. Commissioner Johnson. Oh, I'm sorry. Spaced
So
it.
actually, no comment county related. I just want to give a shout out to my older sister, Jamie Kathleen, who's going to be 28 again tomorrow. So happy birthday to her. She's on the West Coast. Happy birthday, Jamie.
Very good. Commissioner Withington, do you have any comments you'd care to make?
I just want to say that I was pretty impressed with how the Benson Place neighborhood rallied around the Faisal family this week. If some people don't know, there was a big house fire, and I've known Andy since the first grade. They lost their 17-year-old daughter in the fire. So, the community's really rallied around them and supported them. So just want to say, that, the Faisal family's in my thoughts and prayers and everything. And, it was great to see the community come around and support them, so.
With that, Commissioner Lawson, do you have any comments you'd care to make? Commissioner Wagner?
I've said it.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Go Chiefs.
Thank you. I'd like to just make two comments. One would be that one of the things that I think this commission can take appropriate pride in is the way that we dealt with Senate Bill 190. I just want to do a quick report on that. Not many commissioners are going to know this, but the public may not, and that is that one of the issues that we dealt with was the age 62 change. One of the reasons I believe that we were doing that was because we wanted to, not just because it was right, but we wanted to send a message back up the line to the Missouri legislature. So on the 16th, that is next week, before the Economic Development and Tax Policy Committee, Senator Luetkemeyer has proposed Senate Bill 756. 756, one of the aspects of that is to put the age limit in there of 62 years following. And it's good to see that the state of Missouri has decided to, in their wisdom, follow our lead. And I want to especially thank Commissioner Lawson because that was obviously her, one of her opportunities to lead. The second thing is, I think everybody's pretty much aware of what's going on with the Royals. I just want to say that I think this county did a great job. We stepped up to the plate. A couple of shout outs would be to our negotiating team, which would be Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Carpenter, and Commissioner Wagner. I think they did an excellent job. I think the entire commission was engaged, which I think showed very positively. I want to thank our staff, particularly the administrator, and Victor Hurlbert, the auditor, and everyone else who is participating in this. I think that we put forth two things. We put forth a very professional and competent view of this county and this government. And the second thing is that we have demonstrated the qualities of Clay County and that we are capable of operating in this particular strata, in this particular arena, and we are very anxious to see what the next opportunity comes forward because Clay County has proven, I believe, our ability to work in this area and that we are ready to really take off like a rocket here. So once again, kudos to everyone involved. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to show the quality of Clay County, and this body and in fact the entire county, the business community and everyone else showed a great deal of unity, of purpose, and like I say, the next opportunity is just a phone call away, and I believe we are ready for the challenge. That said, if there's no further comments, we are adjourned. Thank you.